This time on 818 Custom Garage, we're bringing back an old friend. That's the HPI RS4 Rally. That was one of my first nice kits that I got, that I actually built myself and everything. And, you know, it was, didn't play with it for a long time. And finally restored it. Kind of been using it. It's really hard to find parts for. Everything's off of eBay so far. But we're going to go through, show you what we've done to it. Got a new little upgrade need to change on it. Looks like the rear diff may be falling apart. So we're going to go show you what we got here. And we may restore it to a true rally car. Hey, so as you can see, hey, it's got a nice cool 69 Camaro body on it. That's actually the Losi Camaro body. It fits on here pretty dang good. The wheelbase is slightly off, but not too much. You know, I had this thing set up as more of an on-road car, but really it is the rally car. It has a bunch of, you know, good amount of suspension travel on it, you know, front and rear. So we may end up bringing it back as a rally car, but this thing's pretty cool. We've had to make some parts. Most of the parts have been off of eBay, but we'll let's pop this open. See what So, got the body off. It does have all the functioning lights in there and everything too. But throw that aside. As you can see, I did convert this thing to a brushless setup. It's just got a Spectrum. It's an 85 amp ESC that'll do, I think 2S and 3S. I only ever run this thing on 2S. It's got a 4,000 kV motor. I thought about going down to the, I think it's a 3,200 kV setup. This thing spins. I had to turn the punch all the way down. It's just a little bit too much for this chassis, I think. But either that or we'll change out the pinion one of these days. But it's fun. It's a fun little all-wheel drive car. It is old school belt driven, you know, front belt. Let me flip this thing around. You can see, you know, front belt, front diff up there. Rear belt, rear diff. That rear diff, I think, is starting to come apart inside. So, you know, had a few things break on it. It was funny. I'd gotten it back together, kind of. This upper deck plate is usually plastic and all this other stuff. It was cracked. I couldn't find one on eBay. Now I've seen a couple, but I ended up, I took my old one, traced it out, and I made it out of a solid piece of aluminum. It actually makes it a little bit stiffer, which I enjoy. You know, fits good. And then same with like the battery tray. I couldn't find the battery ends, and plus it didn't really fit the LiPo battery. So I made this one. Initially I made one out of steel that I welded together. This one's aluminum that I welded together and just zip tied into the chassis, but and then used some Velcro straps. But it's all aluminum, little box, little tray to fit the LiPo, just like how it would originally. You know, I've broken some few rod ends. I got some spares that were not HPI. I forget who they were. And then it broke like the body mounts and everything off. And I couldn't find them anywhere. And they're kind of a, you know, they're L-shaped plastic piece. And I was like, well, I measured kind of what I thought, and then I made my own. I just used some plastic tube, long bolts and nuts. And then I bought these, you know, aluminum ones off of Amazon or off of eBay. Just trimmed them down. Same in the front. I needed some long ones for the front, so I just put a long, you know, longer tube, long screws. This is not normally the front bumper. The Rally bumper looks more like, I think you can see it here. Looks kind of like that. I think it actually like, I don't know, kind of comes up a little bit. That's the original box. But I couldn't find one because my daughter was driving it, you know, I don't know, a year or so ago, and hit the curb. Broke this front piece. I made this front piece out of aluminum. Broke this all out. Broke the hub. And I was able to get most of the pieces. They're all the same for the on-road car. You know, and I've been using it more as an on-road setup anyway. So that, the shocks were toast. I don't even know. It didn't have the original shocks on it. I don't know what I did with them originally. So I got, these are, I think, just like, racing or whatever. But they're the right length. So, and they seem to work pretty good. They're a little on the stiff side, so it's good for a road car. I may end up changing springs and some shock oil to do the road car, or to convert it back to a rally car. It's got the original high tech in it. Servo all works good still. I did end up, just changing all over to a Spectrum receiver and all that new receiver stuff. So, and then these back pulleys, they're normally plastic on the original ones. Couldn't find those anywhere. These are off like an RS4 Mini. They have a slightly different offset. I was able to machine this one down a little bit and then slide it over and get everything to line up. So these actually work pretty good because the plastic ones are known for falling apart. So, but got everything on that jack shaft all lined up. So, and then it's got the original, pinion and all that other stuff. It does have the motor mount that's finned for a little bit more cooling. So yeah, this thing's, I mean, most of it's all original. Like I said, had to make a battery tray, had to make that, custom make a few little things here and there, custom make some stuff on the jack shaft, but everything works really good. And it's a fun little car. So we're going to get it back together. We'll show you some cool little runs with it. We're going to pull this whole rear diff section out. And what's cool is I found off of eBay, this is brand new in the package. It is a 32 tooth ball bearing diff set. So it's actually supposed to be an upgrade for it, way back in the day. But it is all brand new in the package. I mean, it's old looking, but that'll be nice. So we'll probably swap out that diff and we'll rebuild, build this one up and swap them out. These things are not always the easiest to work on. Everything's all Phillips, back in the day. I don't know, not the easiest things sometimes, but yeah, I've had to, I replaced this plastic section too, a few other little pieces here and there I was able to find off of eBay that had, just got beat up over time. So that's been cool, So if you've got an old HPI RS4 or something like that, and you need parts, eBay is your friend. eBay is your friend. So it's been keeping this thing going, so keeping this thing alive. So it's a fun little car. So we're gonna build up that diff and we'll swap it out. And we're back. Man, this thing's all back together. If you notice, it's got some new tires on it because these things were falling apart. I mean, they're full on slicks, but they're coming undone. So picked up a couple. Man, I think I ordered up a couple spurs. This is a 90 tooth. I ordered up, I think, an 84 and an 81. I think I'm gonna try the 84. And because right now the punch is all the way down at 1. So I'm thinking if I can get a little bit more top speed out of it, take a little bit out of the bottom end. And because, it's harder on these. This is an old car, right? It's not meant for some of this crazy torque that these brushless setups throw out. So, yeah. So, this is what we took out. It's a little notchy. And you can see, I don't know if I can do it one hand, but it's all loose and stuff inside. And, man. So, and this is what we put in. So I have a second one. This has full ball bearings on both sides. These are not fun to build. They have these tiny, let me see if I've got it. There are they. These tiny little ball bearings. I mean, tiny. And man, they're not easy to get in there. So pretty cool, came with all the instructions. This is old school stuff, this is probably 20 years old, some of this stuff. So I also replaced the belt. So this belt is not the original. I got this, I think I got like 4 of them. Had to get them from the UK. This one had some grease on it, so I may try to clean it up, and because I think I can reuse it. But I had one other that I threw on there. The long belt, the front belt, that is actually the original front belt. I have a couple spares. Crossing my fingers, right? It hasn't broken, so knock on wood. So also looking at some different wheels. These are some nice aluminum wheels that we might do. Yeah, the gauge is holding that one, so that's just got some cheapy tires on it for now.
The problem is with these ones, when you put the body on, they're like kind of like smacks the body.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tight on the body. And we're gonna do a nice little run video next with the body on, so you guys can check that out. And we'll do it. We're gonna let the sun go down so you can see the lights on the body too, because it looks cool. But eventually, I think we might put the original. I'm trying to pick up an original HPI Impreza body, and then I might throw some dirt tires on it and actually use it as like a rally car. We've got a dirt circle track near us, and was thinking about taking it out there and seeing if we can have some fun doing that. So stay tuned. Part 2 is going to come up. But hey, next up, we got the run video, and you can check this thing out.
Yeah.
So we're out here. We got the HPI RS4 Rally. Now, I was talking about, you can see the wheelbase is slightly shorter than the body. So I don't know, I guess I could have re-drilled the holes at one point, but we'll see. We may end up doing that the new rally body, but we wanted to give you a little test drive, see how this thing goes. Got the cool lights working on it too. Running 2S. Man, it's a fun little car. Not super fast, but let's see how it goes. Should we rip it? It's a fun little car because it handles good. It likes to slide around. Now, when I had the punch turned up, it used to do crazy donuts, but that's when it blew out the first diff and it broke the rear belt. But I didn't have the tension all right. So now I think I got things up. I could probably turn the punch back up, but I want to do the spur gear and then play with the punch, but so it doesn't have so much torque right off the line. But man, this thing sure is fun. It like rips good. Yeah, that old high-tech servo, that thing's like 20-some years old. It rips. It's fast still. Remember, for a light little car like this. But it's a fun car to drive in evenings too, with the headlights, the turn lights, the brake lights. You can hear the body kind of hit, and that's because the thing's not really meant for this chassis, but man, it's fun. So, comment, like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. This thing's, one of my favorite cars from way back when. Got it running again. We're gonna do a part 2. We might get this thing rallied out and might throw it in the dirt. So, stay tuned.